The City of Chattanooga, the Chattanooga Tree Commission, and a variety of other volunteer organizations came together in the wake of the April tornadoes to make a massive forest canopy replanting project happen. Now usually this would be a community project involving a great number of area volunteers, as well as fun-filled public events and, hopefully, a sequence of sunny days. However, in the aftermath of this, a most difficult year, we were not able to do a traditional live tree planting event as everyone probably would have wished. So we must do the unusual instead of the usual. Within a few months of starting his new job as City Urban Forester in January of 2020, Pete Stewart had a whole series of challenges on his hands. The COVID-19 quarantine beginning in March made, as it did for everyone, doing his job just a bit more difficult. But the greatest challenge yet came when a system of 4 massive EF3 tornadoes hit the East Brainerd area in mid-April, causing 9 deaths, dozens of injuries, and the loss of over 150 residences and businesses. Omitted from most of the news stories, but in the front of Pete Stewart's mind, was the devastation to the many trees in the area. As East Brainerd was already one of the warmer areas of Chattanooga due to its lack of tree canopy, an immediate and large-scale need for replanting was evident. Within a few weeks, plans were being made to restore the tree canopy via a partnership with Green Spaces, financial support from the Tennessee Division of Forestry, as well as logistical help from Kincaid Mills. The grant, which was applied for, specified that the land the plantings took place on must be public parcels. Heritage Park and the Goodwin Road corridor were subsequently selected, and a total of 150 trees were planted, 87 in Heritage Park and 66 on Goodwin Road. Of course, the new plantings required working around existing trees, and the species palette was selected by the Chattanooga Tree Commission. In Heritage Park, these species of trees include overcup oak, Shumard oak, fruitless sweet gum, also known as the Happy Day sweet gum, hawthorn beam, sweet bay, magnolia, and serviceberries in their shrub form. As COVID restrictions precluded volunteer plantings, the project was completed with a city contractor. This project was made possible by the involvement of the Department of Parks, Youth and Family Development, specifically Heritage House, the Water Quality Program, which helped with funding, and landscape architect Clint Wayman in the Water Quality Department, who helped with the designs of the tree plantings. Installation was completed by Davis Key Outdoor. To quote City Forester Pete Stewart, "We hope that this planting can be a small part of tornado recovery in East Brainerd. Obviously, we still have a long ways to go. However, we're now looking forward to next year's filling in of the tree canopy." We hope that the following video will suffice in some small way to help you join in our Arbor Day celebration, as well as gain an understanding of its esteemed historical background and that of the many people who made this year's project possible. Happy Arbor Day 2021 from the Chattanooga Tree Commission and its many partners.
Each year, the Tree Commission has the pleasure and honor of dedicating the trees to an individual who has a special tie to the location or the community, or in this case, both.
This year, we are delighted to dedicate this lovely grove of trees to Mr. Don Eaves. Mr. Eaves not only has ties to the park property dating back to the 1930s, when his family's home was located here.
He was the essential driving force behind the city purchasing the land and buildings and creating this beautiful park. We believe these trees will be a continuation of Mr. Eaves' vision for the park
and his history with this very special place.
Nationally, the first Arbor Day was held in the year 1872, which is almost 150 years ago. And it was held in the state of Nebraska by a guy named J. Sterling Morton. Mr. Morton had migrated from the state of Michigan and ended up in Nebraska. And as you know, Nebraska doesn't have a lot in the way of trees. So when he got there, Mr. Morton, realizing that was going to be his permanent home, said, "Holy moly, we got to do something about this. We got to do some tree planting." He was a very prominent journalist, and in his writings, he made the proposition, working with other notable people, of starting an Arbor Day. And that was the beginning of the whole shebang. And on that first Arbor Day, they gave prizes to both individuals and to counties within the state of Nebraska on who could plant the most trees. Surprisingly and remarkably, On that one particular day, they planted 1 million trees, so they estimate. As a result, that particular holiday and observance became a very, very popular event, and it grew and grew over the years. There is a state holiday in Tennessee, Arbor Day, that's always the first Friday in March, and that was started, or I guess approved, by the Tennessee General Assembly. Other states have their Arbor Days in different times of the year, depending on how far north or how far south they are, and they time that Arbor Day with what is the best planting day for their trees.
The Tree Commission is a group of volunteers appointed by the mayor to help inform the mayor and city council about issues with the city's trees. The city's trees consist of all trees in the right-of-way in all of Chattanooga's public parks. It is our duty to study the trees and come up with ways on how to improve them for the future and future generations.
The Tree Commission is a diverse group of Chattanooga citizens that range from architects, arborists, biologists, contractors, concerned citizens, and we all share a love for trees. The Tree Commission is in charge of the Take Root Fund, which is donation-based and helps fund projects like Arbor Day, our Citizens Forester classes, which help the citizens become foresters. The Take Root Fund also funds neighborhood tree planting, and most years it funds our Arbor Day event. Arbor Day has gone on for the past 31 years. This is the 31st year. And different years, it ranges in size. It can sometimes just be a small community event, and we'll struggle to find volunteers. And other years, we'll have a big party and really celebrate, get the whole community involved with tree planting for kids. This year for Arbor Day, we are planting trees in Heritage Park, which was a huge victim of the tornado in April of 2020. For Arbor Day this year, we are celebrating small in population but big in tree count. So we won't have as many volunteers this year come out, but we are excited to have the tree count higher in this area in Chattanooga. Tree Commission meetings are held the third Tuesday of every month at 4 p.m. Generally, it's held at the Developmental Resource Center, but because of the pandemic, we are doing Zoom meetings. The Zoom ID and passcode for the Tree Commission meetings are posted on the Tree Commission site online. Come join.
I want to talk for a minute about the history of Arbor Day in Chattanooga. And that first Arbor Day here in the city of Chattanooga was held at Greenway Farm in the fall of 1990. And since then, we have held Arbor Day in schools and recreation centers, parks and neighborhoods. We held one Arbor Day in the National Cemetery as a result of some tornadoes back probably, maybe 8 or 10 years ago. A lot of the trees in the National Cemetery were knocked down, so we decided, let's help these guys out. We'll plant some trees there and make an Arbor Day event out of it, and it was very successful. In recent years, we've tried to do Arbor Day with neighborhoods so that we could involve not only neighborhoods, but also a group called the Volkswagen Volunteers from the Volkswagen plant. And they, as the name implies, do a lot of volunteer work in neighborhoods. So we decided let's meld together the Volkswagen Volunteers with neighborhood volunteers and have a big community tree planting event on the Saturday following Arbor Day and use that as an opportunity for building communities. It has worked out very well, it's been very successful, and we're very proud of that effort.
I'm Michael Walton, the Executive Director of Green Spaces, Chattanooga's sustainability nonprofit. For 2 years, we worked with over 100 residents to develop an integrated community sustainability plan along with the city. As part of that, we're working toward a carbon neutral future with improved water quality, increased biodiversity, and improved and resilient neighborhoods. And to that end, after the tornadoes in 2020, we reached out to Peter Stewart with the city to offer our support in grant writing and also to connect him with other resources that we were aware of with the City Water Quality Department to improve the tree canopy and water quality by planting more trees in areas that were impacted by the tornado.
City of Chattanooga, Office of the Mayor, proclamation.
Whereas the legislature of the state of Tennessee has adopted an act designating Arbor Day.
And whereas the purpose of Arbor Day is to encourage the planting of both forest and shade trees, to encourage the protection of forests from insects and diseases or other damage which destroy the beauty and utility of woodlands and wildlife.
And whereas trees serve all communities by capturing air pollution, reducing soil erosion, conserving water, saving energy, reducing noise pollution, sustaining plant and wildlife diversity, storing carbon dioxide and producing oxygen.
And whereas the planting of trees for shade, flowers, and wildlife habitat improves the attractiveness of streets and livability of a neighborhood, especially for communities that were directly impacted by the tornadoes of April 2020.
And whereas the planting of trees with local volunteers builds strong neighborhoods through teamwork.
I,
Andy
Burke, Mayor of the City of Chattanooga, do hereby proclaim Friday, March 5th, 2021 as Arbor Day
In the City of Chattanooga,
and I urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands.
So people have asked me, dude, you're an old guy. Were you ever at that first Arbor Day? I say, nah, but I don't remember the first, but I think I was there at the second.